It's the obvious problem we're all facing in social media. Now, I want to go back. I'm not that young. I've been around for a few decades, and I've been through the software revolution and then the search business. I come from the search business prior to social networking. And I can tell you a few tales of things that have happened before. So let's keep some perspective here. Next slide, please. Do you recognize these names? Microsoft. 20 years ago, when Microsoft was taking over the world, nobody could conceive of anything Microsoft would do that would not succeed. Nobody could even think of coming up with something that they would actually have to put against Microsoft in order to be able to win. And yet, today, there are literally dozens of companies in the world that go up against Microsoft and win. A decade ago, the Dell model was unbeatable. Selling direct to the consumer, direct to the business. You first take the order, then you build it. Today, Dell is number 3 in the world, struggling to come up with a business plan to revive its fortunes. And nevertheless, you probably remember a social media company called MySpace. MySpace is today not even mentioned as the future of social networking. You know how long ago this was? That we were talking about MySpace taking over the world? 2 years ago. Next slide, please. This is very hard to read, but I'll tell you what it says. It says that different geographies have different ways of looking at their own needs, and different users, different audiences, different parts of the world care about different things. Google has been struggling to go into China now for quite some time. And there's a search engine that has grown out of China with Chinese needs, and this example repeats itself in China again and again, where Google just cannot come up with the right stuff to bring the consumers into Google in China. Baidu is dominating that market. 68.9% prefer Baidu over 25% Google. Let's go to the next slide. Multiply is a place to document your life. It is not a place to just take a look at what happened 5 seconds ago or what happened this morning. Over time, the way this is organized will matter, and the way you share this with your friends and family will matter. I believe this will be a very important differentiator over time. Next slide, please. So think of the choices out there. There's Facebook that's coming. Essentially, it's a feed. Information moves through, there are communications and conversations, it's very important. And we believe that you should be able to share what you want on any network. But the question for us is, will every user want to do exactly the same thing? The answer is no. Then with Multiply, you can actually document your life. It's an end-to-end media solution that takes you all the way from taking your media from your computer, your phone, your laptop, any media you're interested in, moving it up to the cloud, sharing it online with anybody you want to, privately or publicly. Then staying connected to the media, interacting with people through the media, creating a permanent archive of your media, and ultimately be able to get this out to print, share it with your friends in a variety of ways in which people have normally shared photos of their experiences. This is the future of social networking. That's the way I see it, at least. There will be many networks. There will be some that will be for broadcasting, like Twitter. Others will be for business, like LinkedIn. Others will be private, or more private, like Multiply. And there will be many reasons to interact between networks. And therefore, they will all be open, ultimately, and share the social graph, be that through Open Social, Facebook Connect, or other technologies. But the interconnectivity with the social networks will become inevitable over time. More local will be very important. People will want to have their experiences the way they are used to having their experiences. And ultimately, we will all be connected in one world where everybody gets to express their views locally, in their own language, with their own creativity, sharing their life online, but in a global context where you can reach everybody and you can know how to stay in touch with everybody that matters in your life. Thank you very much.
terms of what's hot and what's not, this is from some MTV research. This is global on what young people are doing more of and what they're doing less of, and I'll just whip through it. Spending more time online and coming online for the first time. Listening to music. Using their phones, and increasingly for the under 24 population having their own phone. Sending emails and other forms of online communication like I am, and increasingly social networks. What are they doing less of? Spending money on music, we all know about that. They're spending less time watching TV, and their TV habits are changing from couch surfing and casually viewing whatever is on at the time to appointment viewing around quality programming. And finally, playing console games, Xbox and PlayStation. Usage is going down because that takes a lot of concentration to do that, and their concentration is being switched from that sort of activity into social media and social networks. So it's an explosion of community building, of being social. Most importantly, the whole point of social media and social networking is our friends. And here's some great research that asks the question, very simply, how many friends do you have? So I'll kick that one off. I've got 3 friends. Has anybody got more than me? This research found globally and within the region that people have, on average, 13 close friends. We all have 13 people that we keep on regular, daily, every couple of days, weekly contact with. We have 50 offline friends, people who we know in person, that we still see now and again. And we have 44 online friends, on average, that we've never met in person. That adds up to 107 on average. And if you look at that around the Southeast Asia region, you can see that if you wanted to have a friendly time, the people with the most friends are the Thais, and those that are the least friendly are the Indians. This is part of global research, and in the global numbers, the friendliest country for this question were the Brazilians, and the least friendly were the Germans. So I think this research has probably got a lot to answer against the stereotype. But the point there is that with that many people that young people have to connect with and correspond with and communicate with, people are definitely media. It's all about finding something and forwarding it on to your friends, forwarding culture. And the beauty of social networking and social media is not just forwarding it, but it's about the feedback loops. It's about I send you something, you send something back, we keep sending, it's a snowball effect. Basically, I like you and you like me too, a feedback loop. So the analogy that I like to use as I wrap up is a house. So you think about a kid, which part of the house is the most relevant for someone who's 8 years old? It's the playground. It's where they play with their friends, they look cute, they do stuff, and if they do the right stuff, they get a reward. If you're a teenager at home, so you're not at the shopping centre or at the cinema or at the beach, you're at home, it's your bedroom. Your bedroom is the place when you're 16 years old that's got all the posters that define who you are. It's got your stuff, your iPod, your TV, your PlayStation, your computer, and it's got a big sign on the door that says, parents not allowed. That's certainly what all of our bedroom doors had when we were 16, right? Versus the living room. The living room is where we all go, but we look nice, our hair is combed, we don't swear, we don't drink, we talk to our parents or our boss or our minister or our uncle or our aunt. Or we go to a nightclub. So if you think about the different sites, you've got the playground, which is Club Penguin, the bedroom for teens, which is Multiply or Friendster. You've got the living room, which is the nice, safe communication, which is the Facebook. You've got MySpace as a nightclub, and LinkedIn, is the boardroom. You could say that Wikipedia could be the library. I asked my friend who's the head of Yahoo what they were, and he said that Yahoo is the house. And I said, no, Yahoo's probably the basement. But you could probably debate different things for that. What is Google? Somebody said that Twitter is the sidewalk where we're all rushing forward, back and forth between each other and saying lots of bits and pieces. But it's quite a handy analogy. But in particular for Friendster, as we hone down on our positioning of being for youth and for teens, we really enjoy the bedroom analogy because we're allowing kids to be who they want to be.